Let's call to order the regular meeting of the St. Louis Local Development Company on Thursday, April 11th. It's 3:07 p.m. Can we have a roll call, please?
Yes, Director Seitz,
Here.
Director McGlown,
Present.
Director Glee,
Here.
Director McCreary,
Here.
Chair Gilbert.
Here. Okay, we have a quorum. We proceed to the first item on the agenda is approving the minutes of March 14th, our regular board meeting. Were there any changes or questions to those minutes? If not, I entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
So moved, McCreary.
Second, Gleat.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded. Will you poll the board, please?
Janet,
We need to poll the board for approval of the minutes.
I'll do it. Director Gleat,
Aye.
Director McCreary,
Aye.
Director McGlown,
Abstain.
Director Reeves, Director Reeves.
He's not here.
Don is going to be coming down to Chris's office to join the call. He couldn't
Okay.
get.
I
Yes.
apologize. Director Seitz
Aye.
and Chair Gilbert.
Aye. So the minutes are approved. Next on the agenda is Resolution 24 LDC 04, approving a loan to Harvey's Coffee and Cocktails LLC. Zach?
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. This request is an EDA loan in the amount of $100,000 for the purpose of purchasing furniture, fixtures, and equipment for a new startup coffee and cocktail bar located in Midtown, kind of right there near Wells Fargo campus. It used to be in the former Firebird place, if any of you all are familiar with that. The business is called Harvey's Coffee and Cocktails. It is owned by Caleb Harvey, who will also be a guarantor on this loan request, which Caleb is here on the phone. And I'd like to pass it over to him to tell you a little bit about his new concept and what he's looking to do with his business. Caleb, if you can unmute and join us. Caleb, we can't hear you if you're talking. I think you may have to unmute, or somebody may have to unmute him. Yeah, he's having issues being unmuted. I think it might be on our side of it.
Which one is he? Is he a phone number?
Yes, so he is the number ending in 4246.
When it's a dial in, I don't have a way to unmute a phone.
Oh, there we go.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Awesome. Thanks, Zach, for the introduction. So my name is Caleb Harvey. I'm opening up the coffee shop and bar called Harvey's Coffee and Cocktails. It is a tropical themed coffee and cocktail bar. I kind of gave Zach quite a bit of information about it, but the quick short answer is this is meant to be a space developed for building communication, building community. Since I was a kid, it's always kind of been my dream to create that type of environment. And what I have found in my professional career is that most people tend to have those conversations with either a coffee or a cocktail in their hand. And oftentimes those like beverages bring about very unique kinds of conversations because there is such a culture around learning the different types of coffees, learning about their origins, as well as the different ways that we can create cocktails as well as mocktails in today's society. So that's just a really quick recap of what the business is, but happy to answer any questions that you all may have.
Yeah, thank you. Are there any questions from the board members from anything that was included in the credit memo and about what Caleb has said? To add into a little bit of conversation really quick before we take questions. From the credit committee, the board members that were present there requested David Harvey to also be added as a guarantor, which he has agreed to be added. And we've included his personal financial statement and updated credit memo to reflect that. So yeah, happy to take any questions if anybody has any.
You
I
might
did
tell us a little bit about your background and what history you're bringing to the table, okay?
Absolutely. So the way I kind of always jokingly tell people is my mom was a teacher, my dad was a farmer. So I was kind of raised to be empathetic, hardworking, very much mentality of I never asked somebody to do a job that I have not and am not willing to do myself. So like I said, I started kind of thinking about this when I was a kid, when I was about 14 years old. So when I was in high school, I actually was a barista for 2 years. Coming out of high school, I went to school at University of Arkansas for economics and finance, where I double majored. And part of my economics course was honors. And one of the requirements for that was actually a thesis. And so I petitioned the school, and in place of a thesis, I actually did a business plan with the requirements of the thesis, market research, actually interviewing small business owners, using that thesis as kind of the basis for the business plan that I have today. After college, or actually during college, I was also an intern for a local roastery, which is where I started to learn a lot more about like importing and where bean origins actually come from, the processes and the different styles of how you can create different types of coffee. Post-college, I actually worked at Anheuser-Busch for 6 years, starting from their rotating management training program, where I shadowed pretty much every level of management in Anheuser-Busch, everything from New York all the way down to Florida, and then all the way out to LA. And during that time, I actually was a supervisor, or coming out of that training program, I was a supervisor in Oklahoma, where I managed about 25 hourly employees across 400 square miles northeast Oklahoma, which then expanded into having 65 employees across 1,500 square miles of Oklahoma. From there, I was able to get a promotion into the Collaboration Center up here in St. Louis, which is what brought me to St. Louis. And during that time in the Collaboration Center, I was working with the CEOs, the senior levels executives, the presidents for Anheuser-Busch, but also our clients like Walmart, Kroger, et cetera, which is where I got to really start to understand how do you develop a strategy, build an idea from the top down. And so having been in the field, managing those customers, or excuse me, those hourly employees, doing everything from time management to day-to-day customer service and problem solving whenever something did happen up in the field. I'm taking a lot of those lessons, a lot of those skills, and I'm bringing them to life today. And then after I worked at Anheuser-Busch, I was a bartender for a year, the past year, as I really started to nail down this business plan, find a location, and build it. So at this point, I can't say I've ever been a business owner, but I can at least say I have done every job that I was able to foresee I would potentially run into. That way I at least have enough knowledge to be able to find the right person and ask the right questions to get the right answer the first time.
Okay, thank you. And did you
Absolutely.
have a question?
I did. I'm having trouble finding it now, but I thought there was something in here about the lease being for 1 year initially, and I was just curious. And I'm sorry I can't completely articulate my question because I can't find the information to reiterate what I was looking for. But I was just curious obviously your plans are to stay in business more than a year, but what happens if you don't make it past that first year?
And I can
So
add
within
on
the
to, go ahead.
Zach, you got it. You got it, Zach.
Yeah, I was going to say, so I have it in there. It's listed in the credit memo as, so the initial lease is for a year, but with an option to extend. I believe it's going up to, I think it's an initial 36 months for the first option to extend, and then another option past that. With those extensions occurring, increase in rent by no more than 5%. So the intention is to stay in there. As you can kind of see there, so they're renting from one of the owners of the building is Michael Beffa, who is from Beffa's the adjacent business, and
Right.
Paul Beffa, who's the owner or main owner for Beffa's, is also a minority owner in Caleb's business. So there's a lot of work that they're trying to do to work with Caleb to keep them to keep them in business and working collaboratively for that space.
Okay, thank you. I think I was really just looking, since the loan term is longer than the initial lease, I just wanted a little more information on that.
Yeah, so the way we look at it is, as long as there's the option there where the landlord wouldn't be able to pull it out from them going forward for as far as making sure the term is at least long as the lease.
Thank you.
Are there other questions? Okay, hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
So move, Sites.
Second, McLeod.
Been moved by Director Sites, seconded by Director McLeod. We have Director Rabu has joined us as well, so will you poll the board, please?
Yes. Director Rabu,
I'll abstain. I missed part of it.
Director Sites,
Aye.
Director McGlown,
Aye.
Director Gleek,
Aye.
Director McCreary,
Aye.
Chair Gilbert.
Aye.
John Reeves is here.
Great, Don's joined us as well. You want to vote on this one?
I can. Aye, I read it.
Okay. Okay, so the resolution is approved. Good luck. We look forward to seeing you in the new space.
Thank you so much. I appreciate
Thank
you.
you.
And I look forward to servicing the community in the months coming forward.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, next on the agenda is Resolution 24 LDC 05, appointing a new director. We've been missing one for a long time. Zach, are you taking that as well?
I am. This resolution is to appoint Franklin D. Shelton Jr. To the LDC's Board of Directors. Franklin has worked in the banking industry for more than 30 years and is currently at the St. Louis Community Credit Union as a Vice President of Business Services, working with portfolio management and credit administration. I don't believe he is here today to speak on that, but if anybody else, either Daryl or I know Alex works with them as well, since he's here. If anybody wants to say anything else in regards to Franklin, but his resume should have been included with his experience onto the board packet, so we can try to answer any questions that anybody has.
I would like to speak on his behalf also. I dealt with Franklin on a couple of deals after I retired from Royal Bank, Eagle Bank, I should say. And he did a very excellent job when he was working with the Midwest Banking Center. So I highly recommend him to the board.
Thanks, Don. Other comments?
Sounds good to me.
Okay. All right, then I entertain a motion to approve this resolution, electing Franklin D. Shelton Jr. as a director, or I assume for the rest of this year, and then he'll get in the regular rotation. Is there a motion to approve this resolution?
Don Reeves, so moved.
Second, Sites.
Moved by Director Reed, seconded by Director Sites. Will you poll the board, please?
Director Reeves,
Aye.
Director Rabu,
Aye.
Director Sites,
Aye.
Director McGlown,
Aye.
Director Gleek,
Aye.
Director McCreary,
Aye.
Chair Gilbert.
Aye. Yay. I'm excited that we have a full slate
Well,
of
good.
directors, which should take a little bit of pressure off of our forum situation, I hope. That's good. Okay, moving on, the next thing is a discussion of CMT Roofing LLC's request to subordinate our existing loans and collateral to a new transaction. I think there was quite a bit of information distributed in advance. Zach, you're going to talk about this?
I will actually be passing this on over to Daryl.
Okay,
Yeah,
Daryl.
I will talk on this. First of all, I need to apologize. There was an error on the cash flow sent to you. They're actually, after this refinance, will be above 1 with the debt service coverage. So this request was brought before to board before, and there was a lot of discussion. What is they're requesting is a subordination. They are refinancing a lot of their debt, which would tremendously improve their cash flow situation. Our loan will be subordinated to a loan of 807, started by the credit union, and we would have a second behind that loan. And we will have probably like a loan to value about 95%, which is pretty similar to what we originally did when we did the original first loan.
Okay, you remember we deferred this, tabled this at our last meeting and asked for some additional information, which then was provided to us. And you see a pretty extensive memo that Linda did explaining the new situation. I think this recognizes, as we did when we made the initial loan, the importance of doing something with that major debt that was at Justine Peterson that really was creating some difficulty long-term for this. And this reworking and refinancing has really, dealt with that particular deal, which really greatly improves, as Daryl said, greatly improves the cash flow. Are there questions?
I think there was a question, Daryl, about me putting a second on their house, but I guess all of you were going to ask them about that.
Yeah, I did inquire about that, and they felt that since the loan to value was pretty similar to where we originally did the original loan, they would prefer not to have a second placed on the home.
Okay.
Is there other questions, discussion?
Well, good thing that they're doing, you're getting rid of Peterson. That's the big element.
It does put it on a much better cash flow basis. It gives them a chance to recover a little bit here.
They got a lot of debt for a roofer. That's my comment.
Mhm.
Hey, Daryl, this is Don. Hey, my question is to Zach, always is your gut feeling. How do you feel about this particular loan?
Well, I think this is a huge opportunity for CMT to, as Chair Ladies indicated, to get out from a seriously cash draining situation, and basically gives them a new lease on their business in terms of how to move forward.
Right.
Okay, thanks.
Seems like a reasonable deal from the new lender, and they put, we looked at the subordination agreement, they put some parameters in their details for their financing, which I think will benefit us as well.
And Chairperson, give my ad that Linda crafted the new SNDA.
Thank you. Any other questions? Do we need to vote on this restructure?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right. I'll entertain a motion to approve the new subordination that's been requested on CMT Roofing, our existing loan. Is there a motion to approve this?
So moved,
So
John
moved,
Griggs.
McCrary.
Okay, we had a motion and a second from McCrary and Reed. Is that right? Is it?
That is correct.
That is correct. Okay, so let's poll the board, please.
Director Reeves,
Aye.
Director Rabu,
Aye.
Director Sites,
Aye.
Director McGlown,
Aye.
Director Glee,
Aye.
Director McCreary,
Aye.
Chair Gilbert.
Aye. Okay, the subordination is approved. Thank you.
Thank
Okay.
you. On behalf of CMT, I just want to say I appreciate the board for our consideration for the subordination agreement. To everybody's point, this does dramatically improve our cash flow situation and gets us away from this Justin Peterson contract that we have. So, thank you.
Chair Gilbert. Payne said, Parker Elliott from CMT Roofing. I too am super appreciative of all the work done behind the scenes, especially from Mr. Scott and Miss Berman. Everything was very appreciative, and this will definitely, I know when we first approached the board for our first loan about 2 years ago, this was always a question of liability, both for the board and for CMT. So being able to retire all of the debt, it's a very good situation for CMT. For that, I'm appreciative of you guys for approving the subordination agreement.
Thank you.
We're here to make things happen. Hopefully, we're doing that for you.
Okay, let's move on. Next on the agenda is the status of accounts.
The exciting part of the meeting. It's not the
Hey, Chris,
Chris, yes.
Could you hold on for 1 second? Alex, did you have a question on CMT?
Oh, not a question. I didn't want to belabor it because Parker and the other gentleman from CNT also thank you all, and I want to do that and apologize too. I'll make sure that anything else that comes to you before, we'll have all of the information like Daryl and my team got to you in between the last meeting and this meeting ahead of time. There was stuff sent to you that didn't come from us, but we'll make sure that that's right next time. So thank you all.
Alex.
Hi, Laura. Always good.
Hi. Okay. All right. So now we're ready for Chris McGuire.
Now on to the fun stuff. I sent out the financials, final financials this morning. Everybody have it. If you don't have it, let me know. Okay. Here we go. So the finances that are in front of you are for the month ending March 31st. We had well over $10,000 of revenue for the month. We had no expenses really for the month. So that means our net income was the same as our gross income. It does bring our ending fund balance. It heads it in the right direction. You'll see on the financials on the other page that it starts at 122 and it's down to 100. So we're heading in the right direction on that. As far as the funds and the loans that we've done, we actually closed 2 loans this month. We closed the SBA Seed, Sprout, and Spoon, 350, and we did the in-house Crossroads for out of the First Bank program, $50,000. So our portfolio that we have in-house that we're servicing and the SBA's added together, total 82 loans and well over $11 million in principal outstanding on those 82. I just break down those 82, how they fall out down below. 53, it's really 53 of the in-house loans that we made, that we wrote the check out for, 19 SBA loans. And then you have the 10 that I'm tracking, the old, we had 135 small business resource loans of $35,000 that we did at the beginning of COVID. We were repaid on most all of them. There were 10 that didn't pay. They all paid something. No one tipped us completely, but there were 10 that did not pay back fully. So I've been tracking those. At some point, those before the end of the fiscal year, which is June 30th, those will be written off. Continue to pursue them, but at $2,000 or $2,500 or $1,000 a pop, it's hard to pursue and it be cost effective. Anyway, that's what the portfolio consists of. If you take the 10 out and consider them unusual deals, there's 8 of our 72 loans. I mean 82 loans. I'm sorry, that are delinquent. Really, it's 72 because not including the 10. There are 8 that are delinquent. So if you look at the loans outstanding to loans delinquent, it's 11.11%. But the principal, if you look at the principal outstanding, principal delinquent to principal outstanding, you're at 9.7%. And over on the left, you can see if you include those small business resource loans, doesn't affect much the delinquents on the principal outstanding, but it does greatly because of the numbers. It really inflates the delinquency on the loans themselves outstanding. Down at the bottom of the page, it's just a kind of gives you an idea of the loans that we have in house and where they stand. There's 8, and we'll see those later, that are delinquent, and there are 64 that are current. The second page is the financial statement. As I said, we started the year in the hole at 122. We've worked our way out a little bit, and we're at just over 100,000 in the red, but we're headed in the right direction. I don't want to say unusual, but our service fees were up this month, and that's because we closed the Seed, Sprout, and Spoon. And then that was a $7,000 that we got for that. Then our normal service fee for SBA is about $2,500 a month. And then we had we closed Crossroads. We earned a fee on that, and then we had a couple loan application fees that also goes into the service fee, the service charge and fee income. Our next 2 sheets is really what the board does. It's the money that we have and how we've committed it. So at the beginning of the month, or as it sits right now, you have 4.1, almost close to 4.2 million in dollars in the bank, ready to be lent. Prior to this month, you had committed $600,000. You committed $100,000 today. All that closes. Someone come that you guys want to close. We want to close those deals today. I could write checks for them. You still have very close to 3.5 million in dollars to lend out, and that is just delineated. Used to be much more spread than this, but all the money that we have now, every single lending dollar is in-house dollars. So they're dollars that we originally had a program on, that we lent out, that we got repaid on, and we create an escrow. Those dollar amounts stay there until the loan comes along. And then I actually can write it. I don't have to request the money from anyone. I can actually write a check right there for those loans. Just a couple clarifications. You got a lot of what appears to be a lot of programs there, but a few of them are really one and the same. That the EDA repayment pool, the Metro repayment pool, and the LDC RLF repayment pool. That's all federal dollars that we received 40 years ago, that we lent out and we got repaid, and we lent out and repaid. Those dollars have been defederalized. So really it's all one program now. As long as we continue to operate according to the board's wishes, the policies that the board sets up, those all operate together. So that eventually I could really put them all into one packet or one pool, so it's not so distracting. All these different pools.
Maybe
But
it's
anyway,
a good plan to do that before the end, at year end and roll into the next fiscal year with them put
You got it.
together, because
It-
they don't have any restrictions anymore other than what we place on them.
Well said. Thank you. So as I said, the line here there, you see the 4.1 million, 4.165 million. Commitment prior of 600,000, you can look to the left and see who we committed that 600 to. And then the deal that you did today, the 100,000, as I said, at the very bottom, 3.465, that is cash in the bank, unencumbered cash in the bank. How's that? The last three sheets is our delinquency report. The loans outstanding, nothing added, nothing as far as new people on the report. Linda and I did go over this, and we added some comments. She added some comments. But if there's any questions, please feel free to ask.
Any hope on the St. Louis Apparel one?
Are you asking me or Linda? Because I don't have a whole lot of hope for it. Linda has talked to him multiple times. I think she just talked to him today, and the response is always, well, we think we got another investor. I got this other investor lined up, and we've heard that for 2 years, and it doesn't materialize. But I don't know if you're more positive on it than I am, Linda. But please feel free to comment.
Well, I have talked to John Lewis multiple times. I talked to him yesterday again, and he still doesn't have anything concrete, but he remains optimistic that they'll still come through with the new investors, that they'll be able to get things going again. But until we really see something, it's hard to tell.
Yeah, I mean, do we have a relatively current financial information on them? Have they provided anything?
Not recently. I can request it, but
Yeah, I think we should request it. They have to know that we're looking at it. We'd like to keep their feet to the fire.
I think he's aware of that. I think he's he's putting out a lot of fires right now, but we'll see what he can
they're in business, right? They're operating, and
they're actually kind of on a pause because they can't afford their people right now. I mean, he keeps telling me that they have orders and that their customers are being patient with the situation, but I don't really know what that means either. So
we've been getting a lot of stories back from them for how long?
Oh, yeah.
For probably 2 years.
Yeah.
Or close to it, year and a half at least.
Yeah, you might, you put some pressure on them, I guess, in terms of we got to see where you are.
Amen.
Hopefully we'll have something a little bit more concrete by the next meeting, but I'll see what we can do to get some updated financials. And
Yeah, thank you. There's and I can see that you've got some more meetings scheduled and have requested some meetings, so that's good.
We're trying.
Keep it moving. Any other questions on the delinquencies? Okay. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
Do we have an update on the 504 and Other Loan Activities Act?
Yep, currently in our pipeline report, we have about 3.2 million that have yet to, that we're working on to try to get to you for approval. Coming up, a mix between 504s and a couple other revolving loan funds. And then in the closing part of our pipeline, we have, including the loan that was approved today, 3.3 million that we're working on trying to close currently. And then out of that, one of them for Artifox is being closed tomorrow. So that'll be another one getting funded, and we'll go into that column. So happy to answer any questions if anybody has any.
I know you had a few 504s in the works, like those because of the fees. So.
I'd agree.
Any questions from the directors? Hearing none, our next regular scheduled board meeting is Thursday, May the 9th, and I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, we're adjourned.
Have a good
Thank
day.
All right.
Thank
Bye.
you.
You too.
Take care.
Thank you all.
Thanks.